This is your Daily 5 for Thursday, July 16th, 2026. Amid all the really terrible video game news that's been coming out between Sony killing off physical discs, all the layoffs at Xbox, the only one that seemed to be, the only element, I should say, of these stories that seems to have a potential silver lining, and please do not misunderstand, this is not at all worth what's going on. This is not me saying that this is a good result of all these layoffs. Anybody who has any type of basic decency does not want to see a bunch of people laid off for any reason, especially for as flimsy and ill-conceived reasons as Xbox seems to be coming out with, which, as many people correctly point out, when you have to do layoffs, it's a failure of management, not a failure of the people being laid off for the most part. But one thing that a lot of people looked at and thought, oh, well, that's interesting, potentially, is that Obsidian, the studio who was largely responsible for Fallout New Vegas and who has members who worked on the original Fallout team, has now been reassigned to the next Fallout game, which presumably is going to be moving up to some degree in its production schedule, because at this point, Xbox seems to be trying to pare down to only the things that have some kind of, I don't know if this word is even correctly applied, a guarantee-ness of success. I don't want to just say guarantee, because there is no guarantee of anything. And so a lot of people have looked at that and thought, well, that's potentially very good. And depending on when we get more details of what that reassignment looks like, it could be, although I'm not convinced that means there's going to be any reasonable impact on how the game is developed. There's nothing that says for sure that this reassignment means that they'll be working on improving the things that many people had problems with when it came to Fallout 4. They may very well just be technical support to a degree, or, just helping out with things, but not really be able to have any creative impact on what's going on. Now, I would hope they would. It would be nice to think that in the midst of all this carnage, which again, having Obsidian back on Fallout, even assuming that they were doing creative control and making the game better, and that still not worth all these people getting laid off. Again, I want to be very clear about that, because it's you're trying to take the very least amount of good out of something that is just a mountain of bad. But if they are actually given creative control, or I shouldn't say control, if they are part of the creative collaborative process, that's what you would want it to be, then that is potentially good news I say that, we don't really know what Fallout 5 is. We know nothing about it. It is possible that even without any changes, there were lessons learned by Bethesda on what people did not respond to in Fallout 4, and those things would be fixed in the next Fallout anyway. But certainly, as many people hold New Vegas up to be the best of the Fallout series since the original game, it is hopefully a positive sign that Obsidian is involved again. But I want to reiterate, much like Fallout 5, we really don't know what this reassignment means. So people who are getting very excited about it, maybe wait till we get more information on what's going on. If somehow this does lead to a renewed partnership to make the next Fallout game, that could potentially be very good in terms of the Fallout game specifically. But again, at this point, there's nothing that's indicating that that's what's going on. They very well could be, just look at the way Xbox is treating the people that work under them as far as the talent and the respect of how much creative contributions some of these studios and some of these individuals have made. There doesn't seem to be much of any. So there's no realistic reason to think that when these reassignments happen, that Obsidian won't be relegated to just doing bug fixes or something like that, which seems insane when I say it and when many people hear it, and I agree with you, but look at what's going on. It does not appear that the people in charge of managing Xbox have any real idea how to manage Xbox, whether we're talking about the people who came before or the people who are there now. So there's no bedrock reason to assume that this reassignment will actually be to the benefit of the upcoming Fallout game. But if there is anything we can hope that comes out of all this stuff that's going on that's good, at least in terms of Fallout and Bethesda and the Xbox layoffs, this could be. I sure hope so. I'd love to have a Fallout 5 that really blows the doors off and recaptures some of the stuff that people like the best. But at this point, we're well before even the "we'll see" category. So only time will tell. Later.